All right, here we are. Hey there, I'm Jeffrey Pepper Rogers and excited, a little nervous. My first real formal live stream here tonight. Guess it's that time, everybody's doing it. So I thought it would be fun to put out there as a chance to kind of dig into a song and do a little lesson and also a little jam. So I hope you'll all be able to play along and sing along on this song. Thanks to Bill for the suggestion for this first time out of doing Brown Eyed Women, which is a tune that was not actually in my regular repertoire, but I always liked that, and so I thought I'd give it a whirl here. So, yeah, I'm going to go through the chords and a few different ideas about playing it and kind of arrive at an arrangement I just played a little piece of there, and then we'll play through the whole song at the end. So, all right, let's check this out. So excited about this. My little chord chart that I managed to get up here. Showing the Brown Eyed Women in the original key here. So it's a tune with really not that many chords. The verse and the chorus just have 5 chords. So we got a C sharp minor, which I'm playing as a bar chord there up at the 4th fret, an A minor shaped bar chord, an E, and it's in the key of E, an A chord, which I'm mostly playing with a 1-finger bar there, and a B, which I'm also playing as a bar with my ring finger. That kind of gets us through the verse and most of the chorus, and then the chorus also throws in an F sharp minor, 2nd fret bar chord, E minor shape there. And and then on the bridge we got a couple choice for this song to go to a B minor and a G sharp minor. So another bar chord up here at the 4th fret. So as you can see right there, there's a lot of bar chords, and so that's one of the reasons why when we get to the arrangement here in a minute, I thought about playing this with a capo instead of playing a whole ton of bar chords when I'm playing it on acoustic guitar by myself. You can see my little chart over here at the left. One thing that's cool to note about this song, you can see these little spots here, like in the intro and in the second line of the verse, where we've got a song that's in 4/4 time, 4 beats in a measure, but got these 2 places where there are bars of 2 measures. So something you'll find in a lot of Dead songs. That's a cool touch, a little irregularity in the meter. Just have these half measures and things thrown in there. There's a lot in Beatles songs. It's a cool thing to play around with if any of you write songs as well. So when it comes to a spot like this, you're just counting this as 4 beats on everything else, and then we got these 2 little dashes here. That's just 2 beats so that A holds for 6 beats there. So another little thing about this tune. So let me go down here and show you this. So I'm not going to get into a lot of detail about it, but I'm a real evangelist for understanding chords by number. So this is just a little Nashville style number chart of the chords of this song. If you're familiar with this kind of chart at all, basically the numbers are just showing the relationship between the chords in the key. So the one chord here is our root chord. So we're in the key of E. So that's our one chord. The 6 minor, the 4 chord, etc. The cool thing about that is that it's just shown without relation to being in a specific key. So you could kind of take a number chart and maybe play this song in another key that's better for your voice. And if you get familiar with thinking about songs in this way, you can really easily just transpose to another key. So I just thought it would be cool to show you what it looks like in numbers here. And by the way, all these charts that I'm going to be showing on screen, there's a link in the description over to Patreon, where we've got the charts for anybody who's a member of the Patreon, which starts at $2. You can download the charts, all these charts that I'm showing you here, and a full lyric chart of the song and everything. But I'll show you everything you need to follow along. So just in case you haven't ever used a Nashville number chart before, when you see this, this is one way to show those half measures. Just those dots are beats. So that just shows you that that 4 there is for 2 beats. In a place like this, where you see 2 chords that are underlined together, that just means they're in the same measure. So those 4 beats get split by those 2 chords, 2 beats each. And this little symbol here just means to repeat the last one. And in this kind of chart, see we got no bar lines or anything on here. Instead, each chord goes for a full measure unless you indicate something otherwise. So shorthand, useful shorthand for writing out a chord progression. And something, as I said, I'm an evangelist for doing. It's great shorthand for talking with other musicians. It's great for songwriters too, because then if you hear a cool change in a song, it'll help you kind of figure out what is that chord in the key, and maybe figure out how to do it in a different key, and maybe you can use it in your song more easily that way. So for all that reason, I got into that topic in detail in my book, The Complete Singer-Songwriter. Is a whole section about understanding chords that way. So, and this thing here, the 5 minor chord I mentioned in the bridge. So we're going along. I'm playing these chords. That's the verse, right? And then we go to the chorus. Women in red grenadine. The bottle was dusty, but the liquor was clean. Sound of the thunder with the rain pouring down, and it looks like the old man is getting on. So those are all chords that are in the key. But listen to this. Tumble down shack in Bigfoot County. So that chord right there, B minor. Really cool choice. And the reason that's such a cool choice is because, elsewhere we've had a B major chord in here. B major is the chord that naturally occurs in the key of E major. So it's a diatonic chord. Diatonic chords are all built out of notes in the major scale. So those are the chords we expect to hear, we normally hear in the key. Now this one is an outlaw chord, that 5 minor. So it grabs our attention right there because it's actually borrowed from the minor key. And so, you don't have to understand any of this theory to get it. Like as soon as I go to that chord, it's like, ooh, yeah, something's going on there. We've launched into a different place. And you'll hear this too in a bunch of Dead songs. Beatles too, I mentioned tons of minor 5, minor 4 chords in Beatles songs. In fact, yeah, I'll tell you something I think you'll understand. Whoops. And I feel that's something. I want to hold your hand. want to hold your hand. I want to hold your hand. And then listen to this. And when I touch you. So the bridge of I want to hold your hand, the minor 5 chord, check it out. It's used in exactly the same way as in this song. Kicking off the bridge, minor 5 chord, gets your attention, boom. Great songwriting at work right there. So, little side point. So, as I said, you can totally play this song in open position, but I like to, on acoustic guitar, think about maybe getting in a position where I can play more open chords. And the reason for that is, well, maybe it's partially laziness, but it's also because if I have chords that I can play with open strings, that just frees me up to do more stuff on top. My hand's not busy holding down the bar chord all the time. So one thing that I do when I arrange songs is really spend some time looking at, well, where can I play this? You know, I could play it in open position without a capo, but maybe I'll try it in a few spots with the capo. So with this song, as a chart that I've got up there now, capo 2 chords. So if I'm playing the same progression, so a different way to play it that is not ultimately going to be the way I'm going to do it here, but I'm just showing you. So this is the exact same chords that, because of the capo, are just landing. So now I'm using key of D fingerings instead of key of E. Kind of makes it easier to play, you know, a lot less barring going on in this version. So you can check this version out, and maybe it's something that a way that you would like to play it. So when I was arranging this song, I actually fooled around with it too in drop D tuning in this capo 2 position, and that worked kind of well, and that was something I thought about doing. However, where I arrived at ultimately was capo 4. So if you want to get yourself in that spot, the reason I did, so you can see the chords up there now. So my E chord with the capo at the 4th fret is now a C shape. So I'm playing out of key of C shapes instead. So what was the C sharp minor chord is now just an A minor chord. Nice one with a lot of open strings I can use. And you can see what the rest of the chords, how they come out. C, A minor, F, C, and then a G. We've got the D minor. You do have one bar chord in there for that 5 minor chord, the G minor. But I like playing it in this position, and a lot of the reason is because of that little intro that I started off with. So when I'm playing a song like this by myself, I want to be able to do those kind of signature riffs and a little solo and things like that. So that's why I'm in this position, and I will get back to that riff here in a sec. Yeah, there that is. So let me talk about a few other aspects. Go back to the full frame view here. Always so weird because when I always want to move the wrong way looking at this on the camera here. A couple other things about this, and I'll put the chords back up too in a minute. But in terms of the groove here, I'm a big fan of not strumming too hard, not playing huge full chords all the time. So the thing really here is the groove, is the backbeat. And so that's the 2 and 4. So I'm doing things like bass note, bass note, bass note on the 1 and maybe on the 3, and then on those backbeats, I'm kind of my own drummer here, right? So I'm kind of coming down on the strings a little harder on those beats, so I get something like the snare. I really think of myself as a drummer often, almost more than a guitar player when I'm playing accompaniment, especially on a song with a kind of rock beat like this. Coming down a little hard to get a little slap on the strings. I am using a pick. And also muting. So I'm kind of muting by landing on the strings a little bit with my right hand. And also I can cut this ringing of the strings off a little here by just touching them, touching the open strings, just letting loose on any chord I'm holding and maybe touching the open strings just so they just get a staccato, just a little quick chord hit. So a lot of this boom, bam, boom, boom, boom. So a lot of that kind of groove going on in this arrangement. Let me just adjust my capo here. So a lot of staccato stuff. So I was playing, so important little riff in this song to go up to the beginning of the verse progression. So it's just 3rd fret on the 6th string, 4th fret up to the open 5th string. But really important to play those notes staccato, not like, but, so, bum, bum, bum. Gotta get myself in a little bit better tune here. So think about that syncopated little line, just playing those notes really short and sharp like that. Okay, so dynamics, also super important part of a good arrangement to me. Always looking to create kind of change from verse to chorus to bridge, so it doesn't all just kind of roll along in the same way, especially if I'm playing by myself. So I got to be the band. I got to be the dynamic band here. So, maybe I'll play verses kind of like that. But when I get to the chorus, maybe I might think about doing something like this. Brown-eyed women and red grenadine. The bottle was dusty, but the liquor was clean. So just a little change up there that I'm doing to just change the rhythmic texture a little bit. This is all just by feel that this is all happening, but I like to see that kind of change. And then there are other parts in the song, and you'll see this when I play through the whole thing in a minute, where I'm just gonna kind of play chords and really just let them ring. So again, it's just a way to open it up in spots so that other parts, when the groove gets going, it just kind of jumps out more. And always something good to think about in any song arrangement is just making it evolve and change like that. It keeps it interesting for people who are listening, and interesting for you too. And another thing that I'll do probably as I go along here and do the full song is just do a verse at the end. There's a really quiet verse. So always works great with an audience when you're playing a song to suddenly get quiet. Let the strings just ring out, and it kind of brings people in close. And so I'm going to do that in this song at the end when it repeats the first verse. So to make the first verse land a little differently than it did first time around. So last thing I'll just talk about a little bit is just the that riff and the solo part. So I'm not going to go through it note by note. But what I will say is, so one of the things I figured out is, so played Jerry's line there. This is all at the second fret on, starts on the second fret on the fourth string. That's all on the third string, sliding up to the fourth fret. And then the rest of this, just comes from, so one of the things I'll do when I'm arranging a song is I'll figure out the little melody things that I want to play. Maybe just figure out how to play the melody on the guitar, and then use little bits of that melody in the arrangement. So one of the things I'm looking for with a capo position is some place where the melody notes fall in a really nice and easy spot in relation to my chords. So this fits the bill for that. So you can see when I'm playing this intro, I'm over the A minor shape. Now I'm on the C. I went up to the F shape there. So, there it all those notes of the little melody are right there. And you can see, so even in a fuller solo section, you can kind of follow through and do the same thing, which I'll do when I play the full version of it. So again, I'm not going to go through that all note by note, but all that is just picking out the melody and then playing little pieces of the chords around it. When you're doing that by yourself, great if you have somebody to play with, somebody who can play rhythm while maybe you play lead or the other way around. That's cool. But if you are doing it by yourself, you still can, in a lot of ways, just do what I just did and just play the melody. You can go away from the chords more than you think. And as long as you think about kind of filling in some chord tones around the melody here and there, and especially when the chord changes, think about hitting the root of the chord on the first beat. When the chord changes, that will let everybody know where you are in the progression. Then, you can do a lot. You can go out and play single note stuff, and you won't lose people because it'll still be playing in their head. They're still supplying all the stuff that that you're not playing. So, yeah, time to do the whole song here, I think. So let me go back to show my chart, and we'll just wrap up by doing the whole tune. So again, over on Patreon, and the link is down in the description. If you want a downloadable chart, if you join the Patreon, you can do that. That's an awesome way to support putting out stuff like this. So you can check that out if you want. This is my first time doing this, and I'm planning to do this every week here, at least for a while, while we're all shut in at home. Give give us all something to do on a Tuesday night. So if you have suggestions for other songs, I'm really happy to hear them, and I'll see what comes next week, what I decide to do next week. But yeah, tell a friend, come back. But let's play the song. So hopefully you got your guitars out for your capoed 4th fret, ready to rock, and sing loud so I can hear you from a distance. Gone are the days when the ox fall down, take up the yoke and plow the fields around. Gone are the days when the lady said, please, gentle Jack Jones, won't you come to me? Brown-eyed women and red grenadine, the bottle was dusty but the liquor was clean. Sound of the thunder with the rain pouring down, and it looks like the old man is getting on. 1920 when he stepped to the bar, drank to the dregs of the whiskey jar. 1930 when the walls caved in, he made his way selling red-eyed gin. Brown-eyed women in red grenadine, the bottle was dusted but the liquor was clean. Sound of the thunder with the rain pouring down, and it looks like the old man is getting on. Delilah Jones was the mother of twins, 2 times over and the rest was sins. Raised 8 boys, only I turned bad. I didn't get the lickings that the other ones had. Brown-eyed women in red grenadine, the bottle was dusty but the liquor was clean. Sound of the thunder with the rain pouring down, and it looks like the old man is getting on. Tumble down shack in Bigfoot County, snowed so hard that the roof caved in. Delilah Jones went to meet her God, but the old man never was the same again. Daddy made whiskey and he made it well, cost $2 and it burned like hell. I cut hickory just to fire the still, drink down a bottle and get ready to kill. Brown-eyed women in red grenadine, the bottle was dusty but the liquor was clean. Sound of the thunder with the rain pouring down, and it looks like the old man is getting on. Gone are the days when the ox fall down, take up the yoke and plow the fields around. Gone are the days when the lady said, please, gentle Jack Jones, won't you come to me? Brown-eyed women in red grenadine, the bottle was dusty but the liquor was clean. Sound of the thunder with the rain pouring down, and it looks like the old man is getting and it looks like the old man is getting on. Alrighty. Well, that concludes this guitar session. Thanks so much for watching on my first time out here. Hopefully things went smoothly and the tech gods were smiling on me. 8 o'clock next Tuesday. I'll be back. Hope to see you back. Tell a friend. Check out the Patreon. Thanks a lot. See you soon.